Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Ram Hare Hare Hare. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Radha Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama,
Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna,
Hare Hare Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama
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 Rama,
Rama Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna
Hare Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Rama, Rama
Hare
Rama, Hare Hare
Hare Rama
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama Rama
Krishna,
Rama
Krishna
Hare
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 Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Krishna
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Hare Hare
Krishna
Rama
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Hare
Rama Rama Hare
Rama
Hare
Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama Rama
Hare Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna
Rama Hare Hare
Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Rama Hare
Krishna
Rama
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama, Rama Rama
Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare Hare Hare
Hare Rama,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama
Rama Rama,
Rama
Hare Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare Rama,
Krishna
Hare Rama,
Krishna
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama Hare
Krishna
Rama Rama
Krishna, Hare
Rama Hare Hare
Hare Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna
Rama
Hare
Rama, Rama
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
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 Rama
Hare
Rama
Rama, Rama
Rama
Rama,
Hare
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 Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama, Rama
Hare
Rama, Hare Hare
Rama Hare
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama
Hare Krishna,
Rama
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Krishna
Rama
Krishna
Rama, Hare Hare
Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Rama
Hare Rama,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare
Rama Rama, Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Hare
Rama
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama
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 Rama,
Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
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 Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Rama
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare
Rama
Hare Krishna,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama
Krishna
Rama
Krishna, Hare
Rama
Hare, Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare Rama,
Krishna
Rama
Krishna Krishna
Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Rama Hare
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Hare
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 Rama,
Hare Rama
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama Rama
Rama
Hare Hare Hare
Rama, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Rama
Krishna
Hare Rama
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Rama
Hare,
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna
Rama,
Krishna
Rama
Krishna
Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama Rama
Hare
Rama Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna
Hare Rama, Rama
Hare Rama
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Hare,
Rama Rama
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Hare Rama
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Rama
Hare,
Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Rama Hare
Rama,
Rama Rama
Rama
Rama Hare
Rama,
Hare
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 Hare,
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama Rama
Hare
Rama
Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Krishna
Rama, Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna,
Hare Ram
Krishna
Hare Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Rama, Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna
Rama
Hare Hare
Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram
Rama
Ram
Rama,
Ram
Hare Hare,
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Rama, Hare
Ram
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Krishna, Krishna
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Hare
Rama
Rama, Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Rama, Hare
Rama Rama,
Rama,
Hare Hare
Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare Hare
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama
Hare Krishna,
Rama, Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare Rama,
Krishna
Rama Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Rama
Krishna, Hare
Rama,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare Rama, Rama
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama, Rama
Hare
Rama, Hare Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna, Hare
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 Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Hare
Rama
Rama, Rama
Rama, Hare
Rama, Hare
Hare,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Rama,
Rama,
Hare Hare
Rama
Hare
Rama, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
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 Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Rama
Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
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 Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama, Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Hare,
Rama,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama, Hare Hare
Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare Hare
Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Krishna, Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Rama Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama
Krishna Krishna,
Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Hare
Rama
Rama, Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna, Hare 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 Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Rama Rama,
Rama,
Hare Hare
Rama
Hare
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Rama
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare,
Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Ram, Hare
Ram,
Hare
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 Hare,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama, Rama
Hare
Rama,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Rama
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Hare.
Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama, Rama
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Rama,
Ram, Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Ram, Hare
Rama, Rama
Ram,
Rama,
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Hare Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Rama Rama,
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Rama
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare, Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram.
Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram
Hare
Ram Hare Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna Hare
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 Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Ram
Ram
Ram Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna Hare
Ram,
Hare
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 Hare, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna Hare
Hare
Hare Hare
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Chant and be happy.
Hare Krishna, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, and welcome everyone globally to our Sunday morning reading of Srimad Bhagavatam from the Delhi Bhagavatams. We refer to them as the Delhi Bhagavatams because they were printed in India, in Delhi, I believe, and this was the first major publication of Srila Prabhupada that he did during his early years of preaching, and it was part of his mission to bring the Bhagavatams to America and begin this effort to educate the Western-speaking people on the science of self-realization, which people had no real information about. It was like a desert, very vacant, empty. And this journey that he undertook is a great story, very great story. And a lot of people really don't know about it. No, not at all. And even the people that became members of his society never really understood the great austerity, the great details, all the fantastic details of his effort to be surrendered to the order of his spiritual master. Yeah. And the other thing is, they don't really understand what it means to be renounced. So Prabhupada demonstrated by his efforts true renunciation, because renunciation is part of spiritual realization. It's part of spiritual understanding. It's part of spiritual vision. And Prabhupada had the greatest vision, that he truly understood that he wasn't the body, but not only did he understand that, he understood that he was a servant of his spiritual master. And that is the most significant thing in his example he set for all of us. And it goes that way for us, that we have to show to ourselves that we're his, Prabhupada's servants, because this is the disciplic succession. And this system of disciplic succession, properly understood, opens up the gateways of spiritual understanding to the disciple. And that's why we stress it, Yashodanandana Prabhu, so much every class in our explanation of this philosophy. Guru Parampara, the disciplic succession coming down from Lord Chaitanya, the 6 Goswamis, all the different Ācāryas, to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, to Prabhupada. Yeah, but people think, oh, there's so many gurus. Well, people claiming to be guru, but they're not qualified to take that role. It's based on total surrender. And when you read Prabhupada's Leela, when you read his pastimes, you see that he was totally surrendered. Everything, not just a little bit. Think about it like this, Mother Uchisha. He gets to America on the boat with no money. None. Now, who can imagine that? Oh, ordinary person, that is. You can't. In fact, if you don't have money, you really can't do much, especially if you're traveling. It's very, very difficult. I know when I go to Mexico, if I don't have pesos, I'm in trouble. So Prabhupada got off the boat with $7 in his pocket. he didn't have really any connection. If you recall, Argawal had given him a sponsorship. They met him and they took him to Butler, Pennsylvania when he got there. But they didn't even have a place for him to stay. He stayed in the YMCA. Prabhupada stayed in the YMCA with no money and undertook his mission because he always depended on Krishna for everything. That was the fact. So Prabhupada's personal example demonstrated real renunciation. Total shelter. He took total shelter of his spiritual master, the order of the spiritual master, and he took total shelter of Krishna. And we'll, as we read in the diaries, the Jaladuta diaries, we see that. Now that is something that we have to emulate. We have to follow in the footsteps of Srila Prabhupada. Follow in the footsteps. That's a very precise term. The footsteps, they go into the sand. You're supposed to follow exactly in that footstep. Not change it, not become different, but identical. Actually, we should repeat to our best of our ability all the teachings that he provided for us so that we can share that properly with other people. When you change it, where's the qualification then? What is the qualification of a person? Prabhupada says, a third-class man. What is the value of his explanation when he's a third-class man? And that's, of course, happened in this ISKCON group that still kind of functions in this world of illusion. And these people are motivated by material desires, profit, adoration, and distinction, and it's covered over with this so-called sahajya activity that they carry on with, trying to attract so many followers and get so much money for their own personal purposes, and it's pathetic. And the proof is this, Yashoda. The books of Srila Prabhupada are out of print. Some guys that, yeah, it's unbelievable. Like, this is a tragedy beyond anyone's dream that we would ever think that people would be so selfish. They're not renounced. There is no renunciation. They're not following in the footsteps. They're building their own bank accounts. One of my friends, former friends, I think when we did the Prabhupada ceremony last week, we saw, I fell asleep on this guy's shoulders. I was so tired on Gerrard Street. There was a picture of it in the production. And so we were good friends. We actually traveled together in our blue bus for a year and a half and sold books through America. So we went on Sankirtan. We were in New Orleans and Birmingham, Alabama, and Nashville and Louisville, Kentucky. We went everywhere. And we were young men. By the way, when you're young, you'll do everything. That's why they get young people to go into the army, because they go, okay, let's go fight, and boom. They're just fearless. So that was the case with us. We were also young men. We were very fearless. We went on Sankirtan, and it was like an adventure. But for Prabhupada to do that, that's different. When you're a man 70 years old, you're afraid. You're afraid. There's fear. But he wasn't. He was totally fearless and renounced. That's example. Now we have to look at our own lives and say, well, how are we when it comes to renunciation? Are we renounced? Do we feel renounced? Renunciation doesn't mean a change of dress. Like a lot of times, people are getting sannyas. They have a whole small squad of sannyasis nowadays in this other movement. There's all kinds of them. Everybody's just like stepping up here. Give me that. Done. Let me put these robes on. And next year they end up, blooping. It's Prabhupada actually, and Yashoda may refer to it again. He canceled the initiation of sannyasis back in 1977. He canceled it, but they ignore that. They think, oh, well, put on the saffron robes and then I'll get money. Not give up money. It's all the opposite. It's upside down cake. It's just absolutely hypocritical what has gone on. But this is the pastimes of Srila Prabhupada, pre-77 and post-77. And people blame him. Oh, it's his fault. No, it's their fault because they are mundaners. The International Society of Mundanity. That's what it is. And no renunciation. It's pathetic. And think about it like this, Yashoda. How many hundreds of thousands of dollars have been spent on useless plane flights? Well, people think, oh, well, it's just a plane ride. Well, we have to think. Ordinary people like us, we have to think about the budget. Do they worry about that? No. I'm just going to get it here. Go to the treasurer. Give me a ticket. Well, how much is it? $1,800, $2,000. How many tickets have been spent, or money has been spent on buying airplane tickets, Ram Raghava? And Prabhupada's books are out of publication. This is an atrocity. I'm talking about this today because I think it's important for us to understand that real renunciation means you surrender everything in the service of your spiritual master. Don't give up anything. Dovetail it. We have people here, and even in my situation years ago, before we launched our programs, I was still practicing the bass here at my ashram. I thought, I'm not practicing much lately because we're busy with other things, or hardly practicing. But at the same time, I thought, well, I know how to play a little bit of bass. Maybe I should dovetail it by chanting Hare Krishna. That was the idea. Because I was on my own, I thought, well, at least I'll do that instead of playing all this useless noise, karmi music, which is garbage, sound pollution. So you dovetail whatever you have. If you have money, say you're a successful person, or you're born into money like some people. Well, what do you do with your money? Well, what are you going to do with it when you die? You're going to do nothing with it. You're going to lose it all. Everybody will come in and sweep in and take it all. Everything that you own, if you're married and you have children, then they come in, they swoop it in, and they take your money. Is it a better use of money if you donate it to our mission? Using this as an example. Well, yes, it is, because we're at least working to try to reprint Prabhupada's books in due course of time. But a lot of people, they don't think that. They just think me. They don't see renunciation. I'm using the example of money because that's an easy way to look at what you possess. But if you don't engage what you have in Krishna's service, if you don't dovetail it, it's lost. Like time, for example. You cannot buy time back after it's lost for millions of dollars. It's gone. And what is time? Time is our most valuable asset. So you take your time, you take your energy. Energy is very important. And we're learning that. Some of you might have a desire to create music. And we have some devotees in our group that are using their expertise to create music because they have that desire. Okay, dovetail it. Dovetail what you're doing. If you want to cook, you can maybe, if you want to take a chance, you could start prasadam distribution. You could find yourself a truck. You could put a trailer. I always take pictures of these trucks and trailers. When I go out, I see these food wagons. I think, we have to do that sometime. It's a big job. I've had 4 restaurants, so I know how detailed it is. But nonetheless, we have an aspiration. If you're a good cook, you can learn how to cook and teach other people how to make prasadam and let them sample it and see what the benefit is. So whatever you do, you dovetail it in Krishna's service. And that is part of our program for initiation. If you want to get initiated, you have to hear, you have to chant, and you have to serve. And you can find a ways and means to serve wherever you are throughout the world and dovetail everything in Krishna's service like Prabhupada did. So real renunciation is not change of dress, it's a change of mind from I, me, and mine to Krishna is everything, Prabhupada is everything, and I'm going to dovetail it all in Krishna's service, the mission. So we're going to go further. We're going to read Ram Raghava. We're reading from the diaries, right? Yes. We'll start with the diaries. Sometimes I get confused. Our program is so complicated. Okay, now it's interesting to note here at the diary. Go ahead. It's August. Now we're moving along fairly quickly in the diaries because remember, Prabhupada left. He leaves, I believe, on the 12th of August. So, and it's going to be almost 30 days for him to get to America. So this journey is starting, and he's been going through the preparation. And on Tuesday, the 3rd of August, he reached at Patrigata Street, Ramkura Bangar, Dharmasala, at about 1 p.m. at Dharmshala. Sri Govinda Lal Bangur sent his man to receive me. I received a letter from Chaitanya Bharati of New Delhi and also from Govinda Maharaj on 31/7, July 31/65. Go ahead. What's next? Okay. Now, the 4th, he didn't write anything. On the 5th, he put in that Sri Kanai Banerjee was coming today to see me at any time. So not a specific date, but traveling to visit him. And on Friday, the 6th, he was a morning start for Mayapur and return back in the evening. So he's making a visit. In preparation for leaving, he's going to Mayapur, the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya, to get the darshan, the mercy of the Lord there. And here we have, look at this next page. Here is the Scindia Steam Navigation Company, his ticket. Sumatra Maharaj was reluctant to give Srila Prabhupada passage to America. She thought him too old, and she doubted he would be able to accomplish much there. Srila Prabhupada, however, was persistent, and she finally agreed to issue him one complimentary ticket with food for passage aboard the Jaladuta. And look at the, did I take another picture of it? I think, no. But anyway, yeah, there it is. That's a better picture. Look at that. Just look at this history. Look at this opportunity for us to see how Prabhupada unfolded the Sankirtan movement of Lord Chaitanya by very complicated effort. So there you are, and he's got complimentary ticket in his Sri Abhi Charan Aravindra Bhaktivedanta Swami. I named my son Abhi Charan. Oh, my internet's unstable. It is mutually agreed that this contract ticket is issued by or on behalf of the Scindia Steamship Company and is accepted by the passengers on the terms and conditions printed. It was a free ticket, no charge. Okay, and then the journey. Look at this next title. Go ahead. Move ahead. The journey. The Jaladuta set sail for America. Look at that. And then we'll go to the next page here. This newspaper article announced Srila Prabhupada's departure for the West, appeared in the Dainak Basumati, a Bengali newspaper in Calcutta. The translation of the article is as follows. So he even got an announcement, and look at that beautiful picture of him. The Lord's message goes to America. Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Priviviti ache yata naragrati gram sarvatra prachara hoibe omora nama. That prophecy is now going to be fulfilled now. Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami, a resident of Vrindavan, has translated the Srimad Bhagavatam into English in 60 volumes with word-for-word meaning and purports. Before this great work could be appreciated by his countrymen, people from far off America have expressed their admiration of his supernormal achievement and have invited him so that they may meet him in person and acquaint themselves with his work. Hence, he is departing from Calcutta for New York this 12th day of August, 1965, to start, and Tuesday on the 12th to start for the U.S. in his own handwriting here, to start for the U.S. by the Jaladuta from Calcutta Port, K. George's Dockyard. So very nice. And on the 13th of the month, go ahead. Go to the next page. I hope I didn't make a mistake. Okay, no. Today at 9 a.m. embarked on, no, the wrong way. There we are. No, back one. Today embarked on MV Jaladuta. I don't know. Came with me a Bhagavati, the Darwan. It's there somewhere. There it is. The 12th. Sri Sengupta, Mr. Ali, and Brindavan, his son. The cabinet is quite comfortable. It's an owner's residence, and therefore the sitting room, the bedroom, let me see here, and the bath and privy all equipped with first-class materials. Love that. Everything is nice in the first compartment, and thanks to Lord Krishna, Sri Krishna, for his enlightening Smriti Sumarti Marajji, for all these arrangements, I'm quite comfortable. The ship started at 10:30 p.m., 1:30 p.m., very slowly from the dock and reached near Botanical Garden and stopped at a midstream of the Ganges till 11 p.m., then turned towards the front and started. It was quite steady. I cannot understand in my cabinet if it is at all moving. I'm so comfortable. The voyage was again stopped at 3:30 a.m. at Kalpi near Diamond Harbor, Ganokali, and detained for about 8 hours. The delta of the Ganges quite wide with shallow water. Did I do the photograph, Prabhu, of his handwriting here? I don't know. I thought I did. I wanted you all to see his handwriting. We'll carry on. Yeah, look at that. Look at his handwriting. And it's very auspicious. And we're going to carry on. We're going to read a bit more before we move to our next section. Go ahead. On the 14th, the ship started at about 11 o'clock in the morning. Now, you're going to see this is a very detailed explanation. In other words, some days there was nothing, but as he keeps going in his journey, he starts to record more and more information by his divine vision, from his divine vision. And it's a vision for us to understand. The ship started at about 11 o'clock in the morning, majestically. I did not feel any jerking whatsoever, but on reaching the Bay of Bengal, there is a tilting of the ship and a little rolling. The roughness increased gradually on the upper Bay of Bengal, and I felt seasickness. There was a vomiting tendency and dizziness, and I felt uncomfortable the whole day and night. The sea was foamy all through. It appeared that like a big plate of water extending to 40 square miles, but factually it was endless, so to say. It is a vivid example of God's Maya because it appears like something, but actually it is something else. Very interesting. And Prabhupada's, remember this, everyone. Prabhupada is going to go through some very difficult times on this journey. In the morning on the 15th, I woke up and felt a little better, but I felt no hunger. Today, only a glass of lemon, sikanji, lemon drink, nimbu pani, but the head dizziness is continuing up to 10:30. I was in the captain's room, radio room, chatting with the officers. In the radio room, they were dispatching news to other ships. The captain's room is full with nautical paraphernalia. I saw a chart of different appearances, photos of the sea. The grades are 0 to 12 degrees, and I think we were passing on the sea between 4 to 7 points. The scene of the 10th point was furious, and the 12th serious. The captain advised me to take more solid food, and we're going to end here. Look at, there is a lot of detail coming up, and stay tuned, everyone. Please come back on Wednesday for Chaitanya Charitamrita, a reading and discussion. And we'll continue reading this diary of Srila Prabhupada and getting more insight into his transcendental journey to fulfill the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And it's very important we learn this. Ram Raghava, yes, please, your hands up.
Yes, Prabhu, I was just going to make a comment and maybe ask one of you to comment further on this. But I noted in one of the pages, I'll share it right now. If you see here,
yes,
the article in the newspaper says, Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami, a resident of Vrindavan, has translated the Srimad Bhagavatam into English in 60 volumes.
Oh,
From what I understand, he hadn't done that yet, but there's another pastime of Prabhupada where he's waiting either at a train station or waiting at the airport, and somebody's sitting next to him, and he starts telling him, I have temples all over the world, I have books, I have followers all over the world, showing that he was Trikalagyan. He knew what was going to happen in the future.
Yeah, this is Prabhupada was a fantastic promoter. Remember that he had nothing, but he had a purpose, had a vision. Trikalagya is the right term for it. He was envisioning this was going to happen. And in this way, he established the movement with the help of Krishna and the disciplic succession to achieve that. So his goal was that. And that's the way you do. His goal, remember, this is a newspaper article. Now, they write newspaper articles. They always do that. So Prabhupada, he was using these tools to deliver the message. This is common sense. If you're a promoter, you understand that. Prabhupada was the top promoter. It's like the fish story. It's how big was it? Well, it was this big. So Prabhupada had that vision. He used these techniques brilliantly, by the way, brilliantly to spread the mission of Lord Chaitanya. And that's a good question, but with common sense, if you're a promoter, you'll understand you do this. And he did it. And I have the highest respect for Prabhupada. He's so brilliant. We're going to look forward to continuing to read this. And thank you for that point. That's a very subtle point, but it is something that a real promoter understands. How to do it, how to promote it. And Prabhupada had this vision, and he fulfilled it. And it's all unfolding in front of our very eyes here. Now we're doing it. And we'll move forward with our next section of the program, which is the Prabhupada Stotram, with Yashodanandana chanting these prayers. So please chant along and enjoy the transcendental journey of today's Delhi Bhagavatam reading and discussion. Thank you.
Srila Prabhupada Stotram. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Krishna Kacheta Madamoha Vinachakarin Madrishti Gochara Prabhupada Swamin Dosha Vivritti Paridushita Manda Buddhe Tanchintayami Charano Tava Bhakti Etu Vrindavane Ramanareti Prasiddha Bhumau Tatrapi Krishna Balarama Supada Mule Jnanam param parama Krishna sudharma ityuktam Dantastudeva Prabhupada namo namaste 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 kripa purna drishti Namaste namaste mahananda dhatri Namamo namama punaraksha raksha Prasiddha Prabhupahimam daksha daksha Bhakti Siddhanta Shishyaya Bhakti Vedanta Namine Prasannaya Prashantaya Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Vanga Bhumijana Bhushana Ghora Leela Ghoranga Bhava Parisharana Matra Shila Radha Mukunda Pada Padma Manovilasin Anandarasi Prabhupada Namo Namaste. Anandarasi Prabhupada Namo Namaste. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
You know what happens to me, Ram Raghava, during the day? That tune that Shrestha Rupa got, I start humming it in my mind. It just, music can do that to you. I say, da, da, da. Where is that? Oh, yeah, that's from our opening. We're going to move forward. We have a next section. And this is something that people really appreciate, that we show Prabhupada giving these lectures. Here's a lecture. It's a brief one on we are perplexed with all these worldly problems, and he's explaining to us the reality of material existence, so that we can figure out how to get out, not stay. You have to become materially exhausted. So let's roll that. Haribo.
Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam.
I can find no means to drive away this grief which is drawing up my senses. I will not even be able to destroy it if I win an unrivaled kingdom on the earth, with sovereignty like the demigods in heaven. Samjaya said, having spoken thus, Arjuna, chastised of the enemies, told Krishna Govinda, I shall not fight, and fell silent. O descendant of Bharata, at that time Krishna, smiling in the midst of both the armies, spoke the following words to the grief-stricken Arjuna. The Blessed Lord said,
When we become very serious in a dangerous position, as if we are lost, but Krishna smiled. Sometimes we think this is called illusion. The same example, just a man in dreaming, crying, there is tiger, it is eating me. And the man who is acting, he is smiling. Where is the tiger? Where is the tiger? And this man is crying, tiger. Similarly, when we are very much perplexed, just like the politicians, they are sometimes perplexed in political situation and claiming, this is my land, my country. The other party also claiming, it is my land, my country, and they are fighting very gravely. Krishna smiles. So what this nonsense of claiming my country, my land? It is my land and they are claiming my land and fighting. Actually, the land belongs to Krishna. But these people, under illusion, claiming, it is my land, it is my country. Forgetting how long he shall belong to this country or this nation. That is called illusion. So, this is our position. Without understanding our real position, we are perplexed with these all worldly problems, which are all false. Janasya mohoyang ahangamami. Moha means illusion. This is illusion. Everyone is under this illusion. So one who is intelligent, if he can understand that this worldly position is simply illusion, all the thoughts which I have concocted based on the principle of I and mine, this is all illusion. So when one is intelligent, to get out of the illusion, he surrenders to a spiritual master. That is being exemplified by Arjuna. When he is too much perplexed, he was talking with Krishna's friend, but he saw that this friendly talking will not solve my question, and he selected Krishna because he knew the value of Krishna. At least he ought to have known his friend, and he knows that Krishna is accepted, although he is acting as my friend, but by great authority Krishna is accepted as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That was known to him. So, he said that I am so much puzzled that I cannot understand, even accepting that I shall be victorious in this battle. Still, I shall not be happy. What to speak of being victorious of this planet? If I become the king of all other planets, or if I become a demigod in the higher planetary system, still this distress cannot be mitigated.
Yes, we become brainwashed by media. For example, here in this country, everyone is so interested in promoting the lifestyle of Canadians. I am a Canadian. This country is wonderful. Prabhupada was speaking here. In America, they have this group, and they promote, we're Americans. I was on a television show, a national television show, and they were saying I was brainwashed. These people are brainwashed. They're not anything like that in reality, but they think I'm an American. When you die, are you American? No, you're a spirit soul. This is an illusion. And this is the problem of life, that people live in illusion, not reality, and they're brainwashed. And we'll discuss brainwashing later on in the program, how people are indoctrinated into thinking that they are great because they are a particular nationality. It's all bogus, nonsense, stupidity, insanity, etc., etc. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. We're going to move forward with our next section of the program. For all the people that are trying to escape the insane asylum of material life, we're going to go to this next section, which is the chanting of Jaya Radha Madhava, and then our reading and discussion led by Yashodanandana Prabhu as he delves into the topics of today's subject matter. Haribol.
Sai. Jaya Radha Madhava सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय, नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद से अद्वैत गदाधर शिवास आदि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गौ गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिवर्धन की जय, वृंदावन धाम की जय, नवद्वीप धाम की जय, स्वामी तो भक्तवृंद की जय, गंगा माई की जय, जमुना माई की जय, तुलसी देवी की जय, भक्ति देवी की जय, स्वामी तो भक्तवृंद की जय। All glories to the assembled Lord. All glories to the assembled Lord. Thank you very much.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. O my Lord, Sri Krishna, the son of Vasudeva, the all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. From Srimad Bhagavatam 1:1:1. Narayanam namaskritya. Narayanam namaskritya. Naram cheva narottamam. Naram cheva narottamam. Devim saraswatim vyasam. Devim saraswatim vyasam. Tato jayam mudirayat. Tato jayam mudirayat. One should utter the means of conquest, Srimad Bhagavatam, after offering respectful obeisances, 1, to the personality of Godhead Narayana, 2, to the Nara-Narayana Rishi, who is the supermost human being, 3, to the Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, then 4, to Srila Vyasadeva, the author, from Srimad Bhagavatam 1-4. Welcome everyone to this reading and discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam. This program is being conducted on the basis of the 1962 New Delhi edition, and all synonyms, translations, and purports by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Ācārya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, also known as the Krishna Consciousness Movement. As we do every week, we will read a few selected verses from the Srimad Bhagavatam itself, from Canto 1, Chapter 2, which explains the meaning and the benefit of hearing this powerful transcendental literature. Yadanudyasina yuktaha karmagranti nibandhanam chindanti kuvidastasya kuna kuryat kataratim. Intelligent persons do cut off the internet of the knot of reactionary work by remembrance of the personality of Godhead. Therefore, who will not give attention to his message? Shushrushoho Shraddhadanasya Vasudeva Kataruchihi Syanmahatsevaya Vipra Punyatirtanishevanat. O the twice-born sages, by serving those devotees who are completely freed from all ranges of vice, a standard of great service is done. And as the result of such great service, affinity in the messages of Vasudeva is made possible. Shrinvatam svakata Krishna punyashravana kirtana ridyantasto yabadrani vidunoti suritsatam. Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is also the Paramatma in everyone's heart, and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, does cleanse the desire for material enjoyment in the heart of the devotee, who has developed the urge for hearing his, Krishna's messages, which are themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. Nashta prayesha vabhadrishu nityam bhagavata sevayam bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in the Bhagavatam class or rendering service unto the pure devotees, all that is inauspicious in the heart of a candidate becomes destroyed almost to nil, and thus loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, comes into being an irrevocable fact. Tadarajastamo baba kama lobhadayaschaye chetayeterana viddam stitam sattve prasidati. As soon as irrevocable loving service is fixed up in one's heart, at that time the effects of the nature's mode of passion and ignorance, such as lust, desire, and hankerings, etc., do disappear from one's heart, and he becomes fixed up in a mode of goodness, which makes him completely happy. Evam prasanna manaso bhagavad bhakti yogataha bhagavad tattva vijnanam mukta sangasya jayate. Thus, when one is positively fixed up in a mode of unalloyed goodness, the enlivened-minded man affected by contact of devotional service of the Lord can positively know scientific knowledge of the personality of Godhead in the stage of liberation from all material association. Vidyate hridaya grantis chidyante sarva samshaya chiyante chasya karmani drishtaye vatmanishware. The knot of one's heart is thus pierced, and all misgivings are cut into pieces. The chain of fruitive actions are terminated along with the seeing of oneself, the dominating factor. Let us proceed with our verse for today. We are reading from Canto 1, Chapter 7, text number 37. Svapranam jaya paraprane prapushnati agrinaha kalaha tabadastasya hi shreyo taddoshat yatyadapuman svapranan. One's own life, ja, one who, paraprane, at the cost of others' life, prapushnati, maintains properly, agrinaha, shameless, kalaha, wretched, tadbada, killing of him, tasya, his, he, certainly, shreyo, well-being, yat, by which, doshat, by the fault, yati, goes, adaha, downwards, puman, a person. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. A cruel and wretched person who maintains his existence properly at the cost of others' life deserves being killed, because such acting is for his well-being, otherwise he shall go down by his own actions. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Life for life is just punishment for a person who cruelly and shamelessly lives at the cost of others' life. Political morality is to punish a person by life sentence in order to save a cruel person from going down to hell. A murderer is condemned to life sentence by the state. Is good for the culprit because he will not have to suffer for his act of murdering in his next life. Such life sentence for the murderer is the lowest possible punishment offered to him. And it is said in the Smriti Shastras that men who are punished by the king on the principle of life for life are purified of all their sins so much that they may be eligible for being promoted in the planet of heaven as others do reach there by virtuous acts. According to Manu, the great author of civic codes and religious principles, even the killer of an animal is to be considered as a murderer because animal food is never meant for the civilized man. Please go up. For the civilized man whose prime duty is to prepare himself for going back to Godhead. He says that in the act of killing an animal, there is regular conspiracy of the party of sinners, and all of them are liable to be punished as murderer exactly like the party of conspirators who kill a human being combinedly. Such parties of combined murderers, namely one who gives permission for bringing an animal, one who kills the animal, one who sells the slaughtered animal, one who cooks the animal, one who administers distribution of the foodstuff, and at last one who eats such cooked animal food, are all combined party of murderer, and all of them are liable to be punished by the laws of nature. Nobody can create a living being in spite of all his advancement of material science, and therefore nobody has a right to kill a living being by one's independent whims. For the animal eaters, the scriptures have sanctioned restricted animal sacrifices only, and such sanctions are there just for restricting the opening of slaughterhouses and not for encouraging animal killing. The procedure under which animal sacrifice is allowed in the scriptures is good both for the animal sacrifice and the animal eaters. It is good for the animal in the sense that the sacrificed animal is at once promoted to human form of life after being sacrificed at the altar, and the animal eater is saved from grosser type of sins by eating meat supplied by organized slaughterhouse, which is ghastly place for breeding all kinds of material afflictions to the society, country, and to the people in general. The material world is itself a place always full of anxieties, and by encouraging animal slaughter, the whole atmosphere becomes polluted more and more by periodical war, pestilence, famine, and many such unwanted calamities. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Bhakti Siddhanta Shishyaya Bhakti Vedanta Namine Prasannaya Prashantaya Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Bhagavad Vandana Khadyam Guru Vandana Purvakam Kshiram Sarkara Yuktam Kadatehi Visheshatah Adadana Strinam Danter Idam Yachi Punaha Punaha Srimad Rupa Padam Bhoja Dulishyam Janma Janmani Amsho Bhagavato Smyaham Sadadasu Asmi Sarvata Tat Kripa Pikshako Nityam Tat Presta Sat Karomishvam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrindam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Sometimes we see that some individuals will raise the argument, if God is kind and all-merciful, why does he allow so many wars and so much suffering and so much pestilence and earthquakes and flood and everything else? And Prabhupada gives a nice explanation in this particular purport. If we look at the last sentence in this purport, Prabhupada clearly said, the material world is itself a place always full of anxieties. And by encouraging animal slaughter, the whole atmosphere becomes polluted more and more by periodical war, pestilence, famine, and many such unwanted calamities. Persons who are not aware or cognizant of the law of karma do not understand the relationship between unnecessary animal killing and war and all of these other afflictions. There's a direct correlation. During the Vietnam War, some devotees asked Srila Prabhupada, why is it that America is involved in this war, Prabhupada? That so many people are being killed? Prabhupada said, because of the animal killing, specifically the cow killing. We see that there's an entire deviant philosophy or false philosophy that encourages this nonsense animal killing. They think they have invented this false interpretation that animals have no soul. Well, what is the characteristic of the soul? What is the characteristic of human beings and animal? Ahar nirdabaya maitunam cha samanyati tat pashubihi naranam. That both the animal, pashubihi, and human beings, naranam, have the same basic fundamental characteristic: eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. All of these living beings are doing the same thing, but the human being has the intelligence to understand dharma. The intelligence is given in the human body to understand what is God, what is our relationship with God, what is our destination, what is the purpose of human life, and so many important questions. You can invite a tiger, a giraffe, a possum, or a dog or cat to come to this class. They do not have the intelligence to understand. But if a human being just behaves like an animal, he is no better than an animal. Some of you might be familiar with the conversation of Srila Prabhupada with a highly placed representative of the Christian church in France, some cardinal. That this occurred in 1973 in Paris, France. And Prabhupada was explaining to this individual, because this individual was asking, well, you don't engage in animal killing, what will you eat? And Prabhupada said, how do we live? You can eat fruits, vegetables, grains, milk, so many nutritious foods without the unnecessary killing of animal. Now, some Christians will raise the argument that Christ also ate fish, or he distributed fish. But Christ did not open slaughterhouses. Those Gatling slaughterhouses were not opened by Christ. As a matter of fact, those who have studied history, they know that Christ came from a community called the Essenes. They were vegetarians living very austere. So these ideas, these false ideas that you need to kill animals to maintain the human body, this is nonsense. If you look at in the Bible, in Genesis 1:29, there is description that the various seeds and herbs and fruits and vegetables, that shall be your food. There's another place in the Bible, the person who kills an ox is the same as killing a man. I'm paraphrasing here. The fact of the matter is, all over the world, there is arrangement. There's a proper arrangement for people to eat grains, milk, fruits, vegetables. But this unnecessary killing of animals creates big problems in human society, as described by Srila Prabhupada. Now, it is not complicated. It is not a difficult thing to understand, but what we see is the influence of the mode of passion and ignorance, Rajagun and Tamagun. That means that the human being is being influenced by the lower modes of nature to engage in these activities and creating so much bad karma, very negative karma to engage in these activities. We have personally seen in India, in all different kinds of places, that everywhere there's facility for growing vegetable, fruits, grains, so much facility everywhere, in so many places. There's no need to unnecessarily kill animals. Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita, Patram pushpam phalam toyam, yome bhaktya prayachati, tadaham bhaktyu paritam asnami prayatatmanaha. It is not difficult. Krishna says, Patram pushpam phalam toyam, offer me a leaf, a flower, some fruit, some vegetable, bhaktya, with bhakti, with devotion, and he will accept it. He does not recommend to eat meat, fish, eggs. These are lower class foods that breed disease. This is not proper. So many great Ācāryas have commented on Bhagavad Gita. Oh, thank you. Here's the exact translation instead of my paraphrasing. Srila Prabhupada translates, if one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, fruit, a water, I will accept it. In the purport, Prabhupada explains, here Lord Krishna, having established that he is the only enjoyer, the primeval Lord, and the real object of all sacrificial offerings, reveals what types of sacrifices he desires to be offered. If one wishes to engage in devotional service to the Supreme in order to be purified and to reach the goal of life, the transcendental loving service of God, then he should find out what the Lord desires of him. One who loves Krishna will give him whatever he wants, and he avoids offering anything which is undesirable or unasked for. Thus, meat, fish, and eggs should not be offered to Krishna. If he desires such things as offerings, he would have said so. Instead, he clearly requests that a leaf, fruit, flowers, and water be given to him. And he says of this offering, I will accept it. Therefore, we should understand that he will not accept meat, fish, and eggs. Vegetable, grains, fruits, milks, and water are the proper foods for human beings and are prescribed by Lord Krishna himself. Whatever else we eat cannot be offered to him, since he will not accept it. Thus, we cannot be acting on a level of loving devotion if we offer such foods. In the 3rd chapter, verse 13, Sri Krishna explains that only the remains of sacrifice are purified and fit for consumption by those who are seeking advancement in life and release from the clutches of the material entanglement. Those who do not make an offering of their food, he says in the same verse, are said to be eating only sin. In other words, their every mouthful is simply deepening their involvement in the complexities of material nature, but preparing nice, simple vegetable dishes, offering them before the picture or deity of Lord Krishna, and bowing down and praying for him to accept such humble offering, enable one to advance steadily in life, to purify the body, and to create fine brain tissues, which will lead to clear thinking. Above all, the offering should be made with an attitude of love. Krishna has no need of food, since he already possesses everything that be, yet he will accept the offering of one who desires to please him in that way. The important element in preparation, in serving, and in offering is to act with love for Krishna. So this is very clear. This is Srila Prabhupada makes a very clear systematic explanation what kind of foods we should offer, how we should offer it, and that this is the path of progress in spiritual life. Thank you very much. Back to you in the studio. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Haribol. Very, very interesting topic today, brought forward by Srila Prabhupada. And I wanted to say this, Mother Ruchisha, that back in the 70s, there was a magazine that appeared in the shelves, the bookshelves in stores. It's called Vegetarian Times. And you might remember that book, those magazines. And in one of the articles, it said that the Krishna consciousness movement that Prabhupada started was responsible for the spreading of vegetarianism in North America. So Prabhupada brought about a revolution of thought in the society here. And it's spread all over the world now. Nowadays, they have vegetarian items on most restaurant menus, because if you don't have them, you'll lose a lot of customers. But Prabhupada said, but we are not promoting vegetarianism. We aren't. We're promoting Krishnatarianism, that everything is coming from Krishna and everything should be offered to Krishna before we eat it. It's a very important principle in the practice of yoga to control the tongue. And control of the tongue is based on choosing the proper foods to eat and offer to Krishna. And that was specified here. I wanted to say something, Yashodanandana Prabhu. And this is, I'm going to brag here for a minute. Okay, so I know some people criticize me, oh, you're bragging all the time. Okay, well, that's all right. Bragocious or whatever the hell they say. My children, all 4 of them, have never eaten meat in their lives. None of them. And this is due to being born in a family of Vaishnavas that we teach by example. So my 3 daughters and my son have never tasted meat in their life, because we're devotees of Krishna. We teach by example. And this is the way that we can help other people get away from this entanglement of murder. That's what it is. It's murder. You're killing animals. You have no idea how bad it is. Prabhupada mentioned it in the purport. And if you ever go around a slaughterhouse, even close, you feel the aura of demoniac activity going on. It's actually revolting. It's the worst thing you've ever seen. We had a stockyards in Toronto at Keele Street in Toronto. And even when I drove by there in a car, I would shake from the vibration that came from that evil, demoniac place. And yet people glorify businesses that sell meat. It's madness. They glorify it. Remember McDonald's? Well, I remember back in the 60s, they would put up a sign, 1 million sold. That it was small then, so it was 1 million, then 2 million. Hamburger, ground up cow. Now it's got to the point where they don't even put the number, because it's trillions of dead bodies of animals they serve to other people. And this is called collective karma. People have no idea about karma. None. They're living in ignorance and stupidity and degradation. That is the material world. And it produces so much trouble for the living entities. But this reveals the Kali Yuga to us. And it was symptomatic back 5,000 years ago when it started. Because prior to that, they weren't killing animals. This is not a small thing. It's a very big deal. And we as a group should always remember to help other people get out of this entanglement of building a karmic bank account that will send them to hell for thousands of years. Think about it. How many births do you get, repeated births, as explained in the Shastra, from killing one cow? Now you could say, well, I don't believe that. Well, don't. But the point is, if you're told don't do it and you do it anyway, just like in the, Prabhupada used the example of the police. They say, oh, I didn't realize that I was breaking the speed limit. I apologize, I'm sorry. Well, you can say you're sorry, but you're still guilty. Here's your ticket. And you're punished. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. Remember that. You can say whatever you want, but the fact of the matter is the laws of karma are supreme, and this whole planet is going straight to hell. No question. And all the people that are born and eat meat, it even says in the Bible, think about it, Prabhus. Look at him, Kevin. This topic I'm very adamant about. It even says that in the Bible, thou shalt not kill, the 10 Commandments. Just see what happens when you change the philosophy of a teacher by interpretation or mental concoction, like the ISKCON gurus have. Mental concoction. They've ruined the Sampradaya, ruined it. Now here, thou shalt not kill. They say, oh, that means just that doesn't mean humans. It means, or animals, I should say. Thou shalt not kill. It doesn't include animals. You idiot. You think you know what you're saying. You have no idea what you're doing. You have no knowledge, superior understanding of the purpose of human life, and therefore you're sending yourself and your family to hell when you die. What do you mean? That seems kind of harsh. Sounds like a Christian thing, eh? Heaven and hell. Well, the fact of the matter is, the laws of karma are supreme. They are. And there is vikarmic activity which carries serious reaction. So we are giving, this is a welfare work that we are performing, and Prabhupada explains it so nicely. It's the highest welfare work because we're teaching people how to get out of the cycle of birth and death, which is exactly what people are doing. Think about this, MAGA. Nationalism. I studied political science at university. That was my major. Nationalism is a cause of war. That's what it does. You start to think, oh, we're the best country. We're the most important people. No, you're not. You're not the most important people. You're spirit souls in a body created by pus, blood, and stool, and urine. That's what you are. You think you're important, but you're not. And you can't see it. You're an animal. That's what you are. A sophisticated, Prabhupada uses the term all the time, Ram Raghava, sophisticated dogs and cats. That's what's going on. But people think, oh no, let's make America great again. For what? This material body, this material circumstance, this karmic entanglement that we're in is a very serious situation. And we, as human beings, and I look at people all the time. When I go out, I see them and it's all the same. Some kind of inferior, Prabhupada called it a bad bargain for the spirit soul. It's a very bad bargain. Now you could think it's not that bad. Well, that's because you're an illusion, buddy. You're lost. How do I know? When I had cancer, and Yashoda knows it too, because he also had cancer. You tell me it's a good deal? When you get cancer and you're bleeding profusely for years through your openings because you have cancer of the urinary bladder? You tell me it's a good deal. And when you're sick, you're out of commission. In life, when you go out on the street, you're in the game. When you're in the hospital, you're not in the game anymore. You're out. You're zero. You're just a specimen on a table. I still remember that, getting called for my 5 operations for cancer, the removal of tumors. I had over 50 tumors in my urinary bladder. I don't know how it happened, and I denied it, but it was there, and I had to go on the table 5 times. Was it fun? And was I in the game? No. I was out of the game. You're finished. People think, oh, I've got a good life. Yeah, but wait till it turns. Wait till it turns. Padam padam vipadam natesham. There is danger at every step, and it could come at any moment. And the laws of karma are supreme. And these people that are involved in the meat industry, Prabhupada used the term here, conspiracy, the conspiracy of the people involved in animal slaughter. And there are 7 levels of conspiracy in this. 7. You want to get a McDonald's franchise? You want to become a big shot? Yeah, okay. For one lifetime, you may have money, but after that, can you imagine the karma from Ray Kroc? Can you imagine that? How serious it is? But people minimize it, just like they minimize us. They minimize us. If I go out and speak this, which I do when I go out, when I did hundreds of high school programs, I would blast the karmis in the high schools, blast them, wake them up. Hardly anybody really listened. But at the same time, we have to speak the truth, Prabhus. Don't be afraid. Chant along. Hari Hari Bo. My point is this fearfulness that people have because of false positioning in this society is their Maya. They think I'm important. If I say something, it'll hurt his feelings. Oh, I don't want to hurt his feelings. You're a meat eater. You're an animal slaughterer. You're a killer. And you are going to hell for millions of births, buddy. Don't you see it? Now, that may be a bit harsh for some people to grasp that, but they're midget minds. You're a midget in your head. You think you're smart, but you are an illusion, and this is Maya. And I guess we can I'll leave it at that. I could go on for a long time speaking about these matters. Rochisha Devi Dasi, I could. And love to engage people in conversation, and I do when I get a chance. I may not be this strong. You have to be, polite or whatever. But the reality is, human form of life is a serious responsibility, and people that miss this opportunity, it may not return to them for millions and millions of births, because we're not the body. We're Satchidananda. We're eternal servants of Krishna. So don't be shy, Pierangelo. Don't be shy about anything in terms of Krishna consciousness. You know what I'm going to do, Yashoda? There's, you were reading the purport today. The purport is shockingly revealing. And I thought to myself, I'm going to call up a few people that I'm cultivating after the class, and I'm going to read the purport to them, because Prabhupada's articulation of these points is so valuable for people to hear. And he started this revolution of change through the Hare Krishna movement and the distribution of prasadam, and we have to be fired up, not fired down. You have to be fired up, excited to have an opportunity to explain the truth to other people. Do not be shy. Chant along, Hari Hari Bo, and we'll leave it at that. Ram Raghava, where are we in this program? Tell me the next section. Sorry. What's the next section?
We could, the next section is Our Living Guru. Also, there's a question by Bhakti Vaibhav.
Okay, well, let's do the question by Bhakti Vaibhav, and then we'll go and review the bogus activities of these people in ISKCON who have usurped Prabhupada's mission, but for their own personal ambition. Bhakti Vaibhav, go ahead. Your question.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Jai Shila Prabhu.
Yes.
Am I audible, Prabhu? Please accept my humble obeisances. Hare Krishna, everyone. Yes, Prabhu. So today, while distributing books, so we had a table, so at the station. So
Yeah.
So one police officer, so he told us that you need to get permission first. So so the people in ISKCON, so they try to get permission by telling the name, of ISKCON. So how must we do that? So if they ask us from where you are connected from, like that.
Well, let me say this. I mean, it's interesting, eh? Yashoda. It's becoming like America a bit. In India, you have to get permission. It's quite revealing. In America, I used to go distribute books in O'Hare Airport in Chicago because my friend Udama was there. I used to go there regularly and participate with the devotees there because it was a big outlet. It's been canceled now. The laws have changed very strictly. In Canada, there is no law for religious freedom here, by the way. None. When I was the president of Toronto, we used to do Sankirtan in the main street downtown called Yonge Street. And you know how much, there was a police station there called 52 Division. Now, 52 Division is the largest division of police officers in one area in Canada, because Toronto is the biggest city. And we had 62 charges against us for assault on the street. They concocted some kind of a law and started to charge us. And we had 62 charges against us. So persecution is there. I'm surprised it's going on in India with ISKCON and the ISKCON, very confused ISKCON way there that was introduced to that society by Gopal Krishna, who I knew very well. Completely unfortunate circumstances. We won't go into the details. I had to work with this fellow for 10 years. So if you want to call me up, I'll talk to you about it. But it's just a sign of the Kali Yuga going on, that we're going out, we're trying to do something good, and we're going to be checked. So this is going on because the society is demoniac. It's atheistic. People are ruled by atheism, not by theism. They have no knowledge of what they're doing, and this war is going on. So we'll leave it at that. Thank you. I don't know if I answered, I couldn't really follow your question, but the point is, it's complete madness. Let's go to our next section, which is our living guru. And this a living guru explanation is to expose the fraudulent activities of these people that claim to be bona fide Diksha gurus when in fact they are what? Sahajiya. Go ahead, Yashoda.
Thank you. We are reading from the Our Living Guru booklet, Chapter 7, You Can Bet Your Bottom Dollar. 7.1, question, but didn't one of the living gurus admit that this whole appointment of gurus was not done by Srila Prabhupada? In 1979-1980, one of the living gurus had incensed the others by claiming that he possessed exclusive guru shakti or potency. The other gurus were thus considering how to excommunicate this deviant guru brother. But on December 3rd, 1980, at Topanga Canyon, California, he made the dramatic turnabout. He admitted that Srila Prabhupada had named no eternal preceptor gurus. Quote, actually, Prabhupada never appointed any gurus. He did not appoint 11 gurus. He appointed 11 Ritvik officiating priests. He never appointed them as gurus. Myself and the other GBC have done the greatest disservice to this movement for the last 3 years because we interpreted the appointment of Ritviks as the appointment of gurus. What Srila Prabhupada said was, quote, all right, I will appoint so many, and he named them. He made it very clear that they, new members, were still to be his disciples. At that point, it was very clear in my mind that they were his disciples. Now I understand that what he did was very clear. He was physically incapable of performing the function of initiating physically. Therefore, he appointed officiating priests to initiate on his behalf. He appointed 11, and he said very clearly, whoever is nearest, he can initiate. This is a very important point, because when it comes to initiating, it is not whoever is nearest, it is wherever your heart goes to whom you can repose your faith on. But when it is officiating, it is whoever is nearest. And he was very clear, whoever is nearest will check you out. Then on my behalf, they will initiate. If it had been any more than that, officiating priest, you can bet your bottom dollar that Prabhupada would have spoken for days and hours and weeks on end about how to set up this thing with the gurus. But he did not, because he already said it a million times. He said, my Guru Maharaj did not appoint anyone. It is by qualification. We made a great mistake. You cannot show me anything on tape or in writing where Prabhupada says, I appoint these 11 as gurus. It does not exist because he never appointed any gurus. This is a myth. The Topanga Canyon talks were not appreciated by the other successor gurus, who saw this straightforward admission as a threat to their autocratic authority. Soon afterwards, the above guru recalled his confessions tapes and went back to advocate the successor Ācārya appointed guru theory. Just want to make a note here that ISKCON still functions on the basis of this myth, this mythology that somewhere or other Prabhupada appointed 11 Diksha gurus, which was a falsehood and a lie. And that's why there was this massive hoax that was imposed upon the society by them. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Glories to Srila Prabhupada, and thank you for that section. It's very important that we learn the facts of the matter and help us in our daily practice of Krishna consciousness and to be confident that we're doing absolutely the right thing in putting Prabhupada in the role of Diksha Guru and Siksha Guru. And this will open our consciousness to the understanding that Prabhupada is the via transparent medium for the deliverance of transcendental knowledge from the spiritual world directly to us. It's amazing. This Vani incarnation is very, very important, and understanding it will be the key to each individual person's success in this pursuit of knowledge and truth. Life is a journey, and Prabhupada is guiding us. Haribo. Ram Raghava, what's next on the program? Go ahead.
Next is a Srila Prabhupada lecture. It's about 5 minutes long. It's called Cheerfulness in All Cases and Simply Interested in Krishna Consciousness.
Let's roll that, Haribo.
Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam.
Verse 11. The Blessed Lord said, while speaking learned words, you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Those who are wise lament neither for the living nor the dead. Purport. The Lord at once took the position of the teacher and chastised the student, calling him indirectly a fool. The Lord said, you are talking like a learned man, but you do not know that one who is learned, one who knows what is body and what is soul, does not lament for any stage of the body, neither in the living nor in the dead condition. As explained in later chapters, it will be clear that knowledge means to know matter and spirit, and the controller of both. Arjuna argued that religious principles should be given more importance than politics or sociology, but he did not know that knowledge of matter, soul, and the supreme is more important than religious formularies. And because he was lacking in that knowledge, he should not have posed himself as a very learned man. As he did not happen to be a very learned man, he was consequently lamenting for something which is unworthy of lamentation. The body is born and is destined to be vanquished today and tomorrow. Therefore, the body is not as important as the soul. One who knows this is actually learned, and for him there is no cause for lamentation in any stage of the material body. 12.
He says, Krishna says that this body, either dead or alive, has nothing to be lamented. Dead body, suppose when the body is dead, it has no value. What is the use of lamenting? You can lament for many thousands of years, it will not come to life. So, there is no cause of lamenting on dead body. And so far, spirit soul is concerned, that is eternal. Even it appears to be dead, or the death of this body, he does not die. So, why one should, my father is dead, my such relative is dead and crying. He is not dead. This knowledge one must have. Then he will be cheerful in all cases. And he will be interested simply in Krishna consciousness. There is nothing to be lamented for the body, either alive or dead. That is being instructed by Krishna in this chapter. Go on.
Never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. Purport. In the Vedas, in the Kapti Upanishad, as as well as in the Svetasvatara Upanishad, it is said that the Supreme
Sita-sata.
Shita-sata.
There are many Upanishads, they are called Vedas. Upanishads are the headlines of the Vedas. That's like in a chapter, there is a headline. Similarly, these Upanishads are the headlines of the Vedas. There are 108 Upanishads. Principle. Out of that, 9 Upanishads are very important. So, out of those 9 Upanishads, Sita-satara Upanishad, Taittiriya Upanishad, Aitareya Upanishad, Isho Upanishad, Mandu Upanishad, Mandukya Upanishad, Katho Upanishad, these Upanishads are very important. And whenever there is argument on some point, one has to give reference from this Upanishad.
Dead body has no value. It actually does. But how much do you think it's worth, Yashoda? I think it's $78. $78. If you take all the chemicals, it's not worth anything. It has no value. So, but the real value is the opportunity for us to make advancement in spiritual life by association with the pure devotee, Srila Prabhupada. And another point here before we move to our next point is that Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta, I think, called it, or Prabhupada repeated it, the kitchen religion. This is a movement where we teach people how to cook, how to offer, and how to share food with others. It's a principle. And I'm suggesting to all of us, I try over the years personally to distribute prasadam to other people as much as I can. You have your altar, you offer. I've distributed, at one time I was doing 3,000 to 4,000 meals a year. Now it's changed, my circumstances have changed. But at the same time, you try to catalog how much service you can render by giving people a chance to get one drop of prasadam, because that will affect them eternally. And that is mercy. And when you do that, you're pleasing Srila Prabhupada and you're pleasing Lord Chaitanya. And in this way, you'll attract their attention. So distribute prasadam as much as possible. I know what you're supposed to do is go to the front door when you cook the food and you yell out on the street, "Is there any hungry man? Is there anybody hungry out here? Come to my house and I'll give you prasadam, dal and rice, or whatever you cook." So always share Krishna consciousness as much as you can with other people, Prabhus, and you'll be blessed eternally. Okay. What's the next section, Ram Raghava? Are we at the offenses?
Yes, Prabhu, 10 offenses and then 1 round of japa.
Okay, let's roll that, Prabhus. Haribo.
Nectar of Devotion, Chapter 8, Offenses to be Avoided. The offenses against the chanting of the holy name are as follows. First, to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord. Second, to consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu. Sometimes the atheistic class of men take it that any demigod is as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. But one who is a devotee knows that no demigod, however great he may be, is independently as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, if someone thinks that he can chant Kali, Kali or Durga, Durga, and it is the same as Hare Krishna, that is the greatest offense. Third, to disobey the orders of the spiritual master. Fourth, to blaspheme the Vedic literature or literature in pursuance of the Vedic version. Fifth, to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination. Sixth, to give some interpretation on the holy name of the Lord. Seventh, to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name of the Lord. Because by chanting the holy name of the Lord, one can be freed from all kinds of sinful reactions. It should not be taken that one may continue to act sinfully and after that chant Hare Krishna to neutralize his sins. Such a dangerous mentality is very offensive and should be avoided. 8th, to consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities. Karma Kanda. 9th, to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. Anyone can take part in chanting the holy name of the Lord, but in the beginning one should not be instructed about the transcendental potency of the Lord. Those who are too sinful cannot appreciate the transcendental glories of the Lord, and therefore it is better not to instruct them in this matter. 10th, to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy names, and to maintain material attachments, even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success.
Anyone who claims to be a devotee must guard against these weeds that appear in our garden of devotional service, our creeper. Let's move forward with the chanting of one round as a group. If you're going to leave your microphone on, and we are going to leave it on, please, I always say this, don't play the piano. As I heard last few weeks ago, someone was playing the piano. I go, no, you're playing out of tune and out of time. Don't do it, please. Thank you. Glories to Srila Prabhupada. Let's chant.
Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama, Rama
Ram
Rama, Hare
Ram
Hare,
Hare Hare,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama, Rama
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Ram Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama
Hare
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Hare Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Hare Hare,
Rama, Hare Hare,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Hare,
Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
Krishna
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama, Hare
Rama, Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Rama Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Rama, Hare Rama,
Krishna,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama, Hare Hare,
Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare Hare,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama, Rama
Rama,
Rama, Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama Rama, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare Rama,
Krishna
Rama
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Rama
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna Hare Hare,
Krishna, Krishna
Hare Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna, Hare
Rama
Rama,
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 Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare, Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama,
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 Hare
Hare Hare,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama, Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Hare,
Rama, Hare Hare,
Rama, Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama, Hare
Rama,
Rama, Rama
Hare Hare,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Rama,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Rama
Rama, Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama, Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna, Hare
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 Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama, Hare
Rama,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama,
Hare
Rama, Hare
Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Krishna,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Rama, Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama,
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 Rama
Rama, Hare
Rama,
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Hare,
Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Hare Rama, 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 Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Rama,
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare, Hare Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Rama,
Hare
Rama, Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama
Rama,
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 Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare
Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna, Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare.
Krishna Hare
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 Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Ram
Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Ram Ram Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Krishna Hare
Hare Rama,
Krishna
Hare Rama,
Krishna
Rama Rama, Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Ram Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare
Rama Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Hare
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Ram
Rama,
Ram
Hare
Ram Hare Hare Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare. Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Hare
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 Rama, Rama Hare
Hare
Hare. Krishna,
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare Rama,
Krishna
Rama Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
Ram
Rama,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna,
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Rama, Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Hare,
Rama, Hare
Ram
Hare.
Hare Ram, Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Hare.
Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Rama Rama, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
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 Krishna Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare Hare.
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Ram Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
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 Hare,
Hare.
Hare Ram,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Ram Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna, Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
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 Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Hare
Hare Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Rama
Ram
Rama,
Ram
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare.
Krishna Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Rama
Ram,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Rama
Krishna
Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna, Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Rama
Hare
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare,
Krishna, Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Rama,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Rama Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Hare.
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Ram,
Rama, Hare
Ram
Hare.
Ram Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
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 Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Ram,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare
Hare Rama,
Krishna,
Hare Rama,
Krishna
Rama Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare Hare.
Ram Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Rama, Hare
Ram
Rama,
Hare Hare,
Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram, Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Ram,
Rama,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Rama Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare. Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare Hare.
Ram Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare Ram,
Hare Rama,
Ram
Rama Rama, Hare
Ram
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram, Ram
Ram
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Chant and be happy.
Let us offer our respectful obeisances to all the assembled Vaishnava devotees. Vanchakalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances. We all offer our respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord who can fulfill the desires of everyone, just like desire trees, and we're full of compassion for the fallen souls. Thanks everyone for participating in this lively reading and discussion. Thanks Vishwakarma Prabhu in Hamilton, Ontario, Rashikeshwari Mataji, the mother of Ram Raghava, and Viprahita, the father, are also attending. Thank you very much. And thanks everybody for participating. We know that there's many people listening online or on YouTube. We greatly appreciate your participation. Please join us again on Wednesday evening at 5:00 p.m., corresponding to 8:00 p.m. Eastern Coast Time, where we'll be having another reading of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita and continuing our lively discussion. Back to you in the studio. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
I wanted to say to everyone tonight, or this morning, or wherever you are, that these programs, they are different every week. They have different angles of perception and different ways that we express the philosophy to all of you. But our intention is a good one. We're trying to share and inspire each other to take up Krishna consciousness with enthusiasm. You have to be enthusiastic. And you have to have determination. You have to have no fear, not fear anyone or anything, and completely take shelter of Prabhupada's mercy in the form of his Vani incarnation. So some days, some weeks, it'll be a certain way, and the next week it'll be a different way. But it's all Prabhupada words and inspiration for all of us moving forward in the motion of eternal time. So all glories to the Sankirtan movement. We'll keep going. What's next, Rama Raghava?
The credits video.
Okay, so we're going to do the credits, a little bit of chant, don't be shy, and then we've got some other treats. I think we're doing memories now, aren't we?
Yes.
And Yashoda, you missed yesterday's, I don't know if you missed it, but I really enjoyed your memories yesterday. We started it with your memories, and you look really good back then. You still look good, but whatever. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I'm listening. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
could exhibit that transcendental potency like that. The chance to meet Srila Prabhupada was in India. I went to India with Guru Kripa in the summer of 1971. Srila Prabhupada was already in India at the time, traveling in various places. So he stayed in Bombay, Guru Kripa stayed in Bombay, and I went to Calcutta. And one of the first times I saw Srila Prabhupada, he was in his room with various respectable Indian gentlemen. So after the Indian gentlemen left, a few devotees were there. Bhavananda was there, Jayapataka, Rebhatinandan. And I asked Srila Prabhupada a question. It was one of the first times I really had the chance to ask Srila Prabhupada like a one-on-one question. I said, Prabhupada, there has been considerable controversy over your statements that the materialistic scientist never really went to the moon. A lot of people really don't understand this. I says, we accept your statement. I'm your disciple. I accept it. I firmly believe it. I says, but how do you explain this? So then Prabhupada went and he put his hand up in the air and he said, as far as I'm concerned, they never went. And he went to an elaborate list of reasons, all the way to the idea that the moon is a luminous body, very effulgent, self-effulgent body. And it is contradictory to say that they have recovered some dust and stones from a luminous body. Then he went on and gave another reason, that according to the Vedas and the Bhagavatam, you cannot go to another planet without a suitable body. You cannot just force entry into another planet. And then he kept giving an example of America, that you cannot just force your entrance into your country. You have to take a proper visa, go to the immigration department, then you can come in. And then Prabhupada said, he gave another example that about the days of the week, that in all cultures, all Vedic cultures, all ancient cultures, the day starts with Monday, Tuesday. The moon is usually always the first. And then Prabhupada went like that and gave so many examples. He says in his opinion, they did not go to the moon, but to a planet between the moon, Rahu. He says they cannot access the moon. Then he also explained as early as 1971 how the moon was far above the sun, which seems contradictory to the common understanding of scientists. So in this way, Prabhupada was very, very relaxed. Because at that time, when Prabhupada first announced this, one of his servants that was there at the time, Purushottam, had brought a TV set in Prabhupada's room. Devotees had told me this. And he tried to show Prabhupada the entire letting. Prabhupada still. They cannot go there. So over that incident, that devotee had left and gone on to various other pursuits. But Prabhupada was very firm about this. He did not compromise. So that was a very interesting point. First time he started this annual meeting at the Mayapur land there. At that time there was just a little hut near the entrance gate there. So Prabhupada would stay in this hut every night and give darshan to the devotees, and we would stay with him for hours, and we would ask questions and answers like that. And many of Srila Prabhupada's godbrothers came to see Srila Prabhupada. Because Prabhupada had this idea of trying to engage all of his godbrothers and make some kind of an alliance, like a united front where all the Gaudiya Vaishnavas could preach together. And he wanted this Mayapur project was his way of trying to unite all of his godbrothers and get them to participate in this plan. So several of Prabhupada's godbrothers came there, and some of them were fairly critical of him using the name Prabhupada. And we were in the room, so they requested us at that time, Guru Kripa, Shyamasundar, Rishi Kumar, Tamal Krishna Maharaj, Prabhas. Many of us were told to leave the room, and we were just outside watching through the bamboo and straw walls what was going on, and the voices were being raised, and Prabhupada was there, and then Prabhupada rang his bell and asked his devotees to bring out his stationery. And he was speaking in Bengali and explaining to them. The word Prabhupada came out so many times, Prabhupada and Swamiji. And then afterwards, Prabhupada called all of us into the room, and he started to give this example of how Radharani in the spiritual world, she's the topmost gopi. She's the favorite of Krishna. And all of the other gopis, they assist Radharani, and there is no envy whatsoever. Everybody is assisting the favorite gopi of Krishna, Radharani. So he says, in the same way, if one is a true devotee, he does not become envious like some of my godbrothers like that. So Prabhupada was not pleased with the materialistic attitude of being critical of him for us as his disciples to call him Prabhupada. And Prabhupada even said, I do not call myself Prabhupada. My disciples call me Prabhupada. So Prabhupada was very kind on one hand, trying to engage his contemporary godbrothers, and at the same time he was very firm, trying to protect his disciples and trying to preach out Krishna consciousness like that. At one time, Prabhupada asked Subal Swami, who in those days was very, very, still today, very learned and very scholarly. And his godbrother Oroville Kapoor was there, so he asked Subal Swami, please describe the 3 different kinds of Vishnus. So Subal Maharaj went to this elaborate explanation of the Mahavishnu and Garbhodakshaya Vishnu and Kshirodakshaya Vishnu and their function and the quote from the Bhagavatam and this and that. And Prabhupada was so pleased, he was speaking then in Hindi with Oroville Kapoor, and they were shaking their heads and laughing and joling. And Subal was trying to understand what was going on. He was like looking at them. But what was going on is that Prabhupada was appreciating his devotee learning the philosophy so nicely and explaining like that. And Oroville Kapoor was shaking. Because in India, when they appreciate something, sometimes they shake their head like it's like in a seemingly negative way. So Prabhupada was just very, very appreciative of the devotee giving this wonderful explanation. And Prabhupada would say, and interject at time in English, is just see how they have learned this and that. So Prabhupada reciprocation was just so very, very sweet. Another time, Prabhupada was sitting in the courtyard of the Radha Damodar temple near the Samadhi of Rupa Goswami. And this Brijbasi couple, this was in the morning after a Nectar of Devotion lecture, they came there. There were some villagers, simple Brijbasi folks, very devoted, very, very simple, very, very attracted to Prabhupada. And we sat there, and Prabhupada had this incredible exchange with them in Hindi, and we were thinking, who are these people? I mean, they're not. We were thinking they were not even initiated. They're not even devotees. They're not even in ISKCON. They're not this and they're not that. But Prabhupada spent over an hour talking to these people and laughing, and it was like he was experiencing increasing ecstasy over the course of this hour. And we could not understand Hindi. We could not understand what they were saying. And Prabhupada was laughing and talking about Krishna. You could hear about Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj and the Gopas and the Gopis and the Yamuna and this and that. And then Prabhupada was just like amazingly in total bliss. And later on I found out from another devotee, Prabhupada said that some of these people are actually liberated souls. They're very, very exalted transcendentalists, although they may look like ordinary farmers or some village people. So this was one way of Prabhupada telling us to be very respectful of the inhabitants of the Dham. And
that was tremendous. Thank you, Prabhu. We've added this as part of our program.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare